All right, buddy. So, what's your name and where you from for the people that might not already know?
Okay, so my name is Michael Galloway, and I am from the wonderful Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. And, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you recognize him from the little snippet I had in my. What was it? I think I did a video other day, just 2 or 3 days ago, and it was a TikTok video. And was that really your first day out?
The video that I posted was
Yeah.
definitely my first day out.
Dude, it was passionate, man. It hit me in my heart. I'm sure it hit a few people in their heart. You know what I mean? At least it felt like you were passionate. You know, were you, man? I mean, how long you been out now?
Man, believe it or not, so I got out on February 20th of 2019. So I've been out about 2.5 years now.
And I'm just now seeing your first day out. So, well, let's get into it, man. You're obviously on TikTok now. We'll talk about that a little later. But what the hell led you down there? Was it you did 8 years? You said 8 years from the video, if I
Yeah.
remember. Okay, 8 years straight. That's a little stretch, man. You know what I mean, tell us how it went down. You able to do that?
Yeah, so I was actually sentenced to 8 years. I did day for day.
Day for
And
day.
yeah, day for day. I had many opportunities. Well, I had to do half of your time because in Texas prisons, if you have an aggravated charge, you have to do 50% of your time just to even be eligible for it. And so, of course, I never made it. But I kind of knew that going into prison.
Yeah.
And I actually accidentally shot and killed one of my best friends, James McCleary.
When I was watching your video, I kind of sensed that it was something dramatic. You know what I mean? That you might have hurt some people. And that's why I was kind of a little offish asking about your story. Because that's just the vibe that I felt. So you end up shooting your best friend. How are you able to talk about that at all? I mean, how the hell does
Of
that
course,
happen?
man. I'll be completely transparent. That's how I always am, man. All right, so how it all went down is my me and a couple of my homeboys were all in a car, fixing to go take care of some business, and my homeboy in the back seat. This was his 357 Magnum,
Uh-huh.
and he had cocked it in the back seat. So he's like, "Dang, Mikey," he's like, "How do you disarm it?" And everybody knows how the only way that you can disarm a 357 Magnum, because it's a revolver, is to hold down the hammer,
Yeah.
squeeze the trigger, and release the hammer slowly. So I mean, this is something I've done my entire life. So I grab the gun from behind. I go like, "Man, you're retarded, man!" And I try to do it with one hand. And as I do it, I hold down the hammer and squeeze the trigger. Well, that hammer slips out of my finger,
Oh
and it
my
fires and shoots me in the right
God.
upper chest. And that was a 380 hollow point. So
Damn, that blew
it did some
something
damage.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, man. The whole experience really really just changed my whole life. It's crazy how like just in an instant, the whole trajectory of life changes.
Holy shit, dude. I mean, was it? Damn. I mean, there ain't really much to say about that. You know what I mean? Complete accident type shit. I'm surprised they gave you eight piece for it. Was there any like mitigating factors that played into it to give you that much time? Because
Yeah,
an accident's
uh,
an accident. You know what I mean?
absolutely. But they also in Texas they keep in mind of everything. And
Mm-hmm.
really, man, it was an entire fiasco because um, criminal negligence homicide is considered a state jail felony in Texas. That's basically somebody accidentally killed somebody with negligence. So I knew what I was doing, but somebody died in the accident. Well, it takes 90 days to become what is it? They have 90 days to what's the word?
Charge you with a crime.
Indict you. They
Indict you.
have
Okay.
90 days to indict you.
Yeah.
So while I was waiting on those 90 days, they actually on my 89th day.
That's usually how it happens,
Yeah,
man.
man, it was always like on like it's like man, I was kind of like hoping I'm like maybe they won't charge me at all. But of course that's never how it goes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
especially when you're dealing with God. But
Yeah, yeah.
um, on that 89th day, they finally indicted me. And when I got the papers, see, I was originally arrested for criminal negligence homicide. Well, they backdoored it and they indicted me on manslaughter, second degree.
So that's better, right?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, it's not. I was about
So,
to say it.
oh yeah, you're not from Texas, so
Yeah, I
let
was
me
about
kind
to
of
say.
explain.
I was thinking, why didn't you get manslaughter? Ain't that like a better of a charge? So okay, go ahead, explain.
So a state jail felony is considered like the lowest felony. So you would have your initial third degree, second degree, and first degree felonies. Well, a state jail felony is considered the fourth degree. So you would spend time in a similar like prison atmosphere, but the most that you could ever do is up to 2 years. So 6 months to 2 years.
Okay.
And when they indicted me again, they gave me a second degree manslaughter.
Manslaughter. And what does that carry, like 5 to 10?
2 to 20.
2 to
So
20.
yeah,
Damn.
and that was what they offered me for almost like 10 months. They offered me 20 years.
Oh,
I remember
hell no.
When my lawyer, and I had a good lawyer, when my lawyer came to me, he was like, hey, they're offering you 20 years. I was like, 20 years? Are you serious? He was like, yeah. I was like, would you take 20 years? He's like, no. I was like, well, I'm definitely not taking 20 years.
No, I take 20 years.
And
it was your best friend, or you say your best friend.
one of my best friends.
And I had a complete accident, man. You know what I mean? So.
But
I would never
take.
I would never take 20.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to give me 20. That's how we, that's the lingo. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me 20. I'm not just gonna.
So what the prosecutors were saying were coming at you, or who was coming at you trying to give you say that you're gonna get 20, or they're trying to get
Definitely
20?
the DA, the district attorney. They're out to get you anyways, but they really want you to sign. That's how plea agreements work.
Yeah.
But of course, the family, is pressing the issue, and of course they have every right to. I took somebody near and dear to them. I understood that. I understand it completely.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: I got 8 years because of my entire history. Like, I've been in and out of jail since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
I was no secret to the criminal justice system.
So, were you already a convicted felon?
Pretty much. So I signed for a 1244A previously, and as an adult, 1244A is like another way of having a state jail felony, but you do county time for it.
So I mean, they didn't try hitting you with like a possession of a firearm by convicted felon charge or anything like that?
No.
Oh, you got lucky. You got blessed with that one.
The way you sign for it is like you don't get the conviction.
Yeah.
But you have to do county time.
Okay, that's wild. Texas is something else, I tell you what. So, hold on, is Texas Commonwealth?
Man, I'll never speak on something I don't know, so I really don't know, dude.
Yeah, if you don't know, it probably isn't, man. Most people know if it is or not. But okay, especially if they've been through the system like you have. I'm guessing it's not. 20 years. You said no. They shoot any more plea agreements at you or anything like that? Try to get any, like, okay, how about 15? Something like that.
They were stuck on the 20 for the longest time, and they came to me with one of the final deals. So what happened? I was like, man, I mean, am I really supposed to sign for manslaughter? And my lawyer told me, he said, look, I'll tell you what, we'll take it to trial to get it back down to criminal negligence homicide. So the day that we were supposed to go pick the jury members, we go to pick them, and the DA comes out with the last deal. He says, look, if this is what you're really trying to get, tell him we will give him the criminal negligence homicide, but it will not be a state jail felony. It will be a third-degree felony. But he will have the affirmative use of a deadly weapon paragraph and the affirmative finding of a deadly weapon paragraph. And he has to open plea. So, I mean, it sounds like a lot of jargon. So basically what it did was it decreased the maximum sentence that I could have by 10 years. And I'm leaving the judge to sentence me.
Yeah, but
so he's gonna give me my time.
But you also said it's an open plea as well, so that means he could just do whatever, right?
Yeah, give me 10 years. The max that he could give me was 10 years, though.
But that was a good one. It was a good plea that came your way. 8 years. You weren't expecting that, I'm guessing. How'd you feel about that when he slapped you with the APs?
Believe it or not, like, my lawyer told me, he's like, man, I don't see the judge giving you more than 2 or 4.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's roll the dice. And I ended up getting 8. And this is the exact words that the judge says to me. I'm telling you, like, I was shocked by it. Like a tear started rolling down my eye. The judge, she goes, Mr. Galloway, it seems to me that throughout your life, the only time that you do good is when you're incarcerated.
Damn.
Therefore, I am sentencing you to the 8 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Bah! Just like that.
Damn.
I mean, and I heard my mom holler. My whole life flashed before my eyes. Like, I was like, will I make it out of this? And when you open plea something, you get the chance to appeal it. And my lawyer goes to grab me. He's like, Mr. Galloway, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going to file for the appeal right now. And something overcame me, right? Especially after listening to the character. Like, I had to listen to the victim impact speech. You know, the family had to get up there and they could say whatever they wanted to me. And I had to take that, you know? And after hearing about just, like, a district attorney will make you feel like the smallest speck of dirt in the world.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And so after even hearing my life and knowing that, like, man, I took somebody's life, it had to have been God. As I grabbed his hand right before he leaves, I was like, I got this.
Yeah. You took that shit, huh?
Yeah. I take that lick. I take responsibility for that.
No appeal.
No appeal. And of course, I'm going to be honest, I regretted it. Like, when I'd be on a lockdown or like,
oh shit, 4 years into
my
it.
homeboy would set it off. Like, I was like, I'll be sitting in myself like, man, I should have appealed that.
4 months later.
Yeah, especially when things
Bro,
go bad in prison.
I would have appealed the shit out of that shit. I'm like, man, that's my best friend, man. I'm dying here, you know what I mean? Type shit. Give me 8 years, damn, it's an accident, but it is a toss up, man. Some people look at it very harshly. Some people look at it from a softer light, you know what I mean?
Bro, I'll tell you this though, and my entire life, and when I say that, I was that kid that everybody's parents would be like, this is scum of the earth. Like, I do not want you hanging around with this kid.
Yeah,
and I was real violent out in the streets, man. Like, I went for whether it was selling drugs, robbing people. Like, I got a high out of doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was a terrible kid, man.
Yeah.
So
were you all part of any organization or anything out there?
What was I?
Yeah.
So I identified, when you're a kid and everything, like, I identified as a Crip. To be honest.
Yeah.
And then even in prison, I got into the gangs.
Yeah.
I wasn't Crips though. Like, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it really does. Oh, what do you mean?
Well, in Texas prisons, how it works is like you're basically gonna identify with your race.
Oh, so that's how it pretty much runs out there.
Yeah, for the most part. Of course, you'll see some soldiers in there, like some dudes that are for it through and through, and of course, people from their race are gonna try to look at them.
Yeah.
Constantly, like, you're always gonna have that rebuttal.
Oh, so there is some anomalies out there. People.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Yeah. I've heard a few stories actually, and I think there's actually a channel out there, Texas Prison Stories, I believe is his name. He's a white Crip. So yeah, I know a little bit about Texas system. One thing I know about Texas, and y'all need to start doing something about this. I don't know, petition, right, whatever. Y'all got to get some playing cards out there, man. What's going on with that?
Here's the thing, man. It's like, y'all ban cards because we can gamble with them.
That's such torture.
But dominoes, I mean, you can do the same thing with dominoes. People stay on that knock table. You can play poker with dominoes. They do it. I'd watch my homeboys time and time again do it.
They're playing poker with dominoes?
Yeah, there's a way. Like,
shit.
I prefer cards, but there's plenty of different games that you can play.
I never thought about that, man.
Dudes run parlay boards on on NASCAR races. Those were the biggest payouts that I've ever seen.
NASCAR races?
Yeah, man.
No, I know there's NASCAR races, but I'm surprised that was the biggest payout. Biggest payout I seen was from the Super Bowl game. It was going to be a close one. I can't remember which one it was, but damn, NASCAR.
Yeah, them parlay boards, they take it seriously.
Welcome to Texas. Welcome to Texas. Hey, I actually just to jump out of the justice system aspect really quick, I heard that's the most watched sport either in America or the world was NASCAR, man. You know,
Hmm.
that's pretty crazy. It beats football, basketball, and baseball. But hey, don't quote me on that. Maybe someone
Yeah.
Google and let me know in the comments. That's just
Don't
what
let nobody check it.
I
All
might have
right.
read that in the Maxim magazine in prison or something. I don't know where I got that one from. you
Yeah.
know,
Don't check me behind that.
hey, all right. So, you know, yeah, but that shit really does trip me out about the playing cards. That's torture as hell. Because that was how I killed my time 24/7, man. I was gambling, you know,
Yeah.
but and I don't recommend people doing that unless you do it the right way. But after you get sentenced, what do you do? What happens, man? Because I know you're drunk as hell. You're going back to the block, all fucked up.
Oh man, I was sick, dude.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I will tell you this, man. Like, uh, I knew that I had to plan accordingly. Like they do in the military, you got to fire and adjust.
yeah,
So I started trying to figure out how I was fixing to do this time. And so, I came into jail like, bro, my vocabulary was like this. Like the F word was every other word out of my mouth.
yeah, yeah,
And so I said, you know what? I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna get an education. I'm gonna make something out of my life. But of course, I still had the youngster mentality. I had to get some things out of my system. So that was the hardest part. And it was right before Christmas when I got sentenced.
yeah,
So it was game time. Like
yeah,
I said, you know what? I'm gonna get down there. But then, most people like dread going to prison. But after you've been in a county jail for 11 months,
yeah,
I was excited to go to prison. Be
yeah,
honest with you, like
yeah,
because you go from just no movement at all in a county jail to where I keep hearing these awesome stories about how they got cheaper commissary,
yeah,
more items on commissary. I can catch an education.
yeah,
All these free things. Especially, I was hoping to get like contact visits.
yeah,
You don't get contact visits in the county jail.
yeah, yeah. I mean, what do you think is the major difference between jail and prison in Texas? Would you say uh, violence or politics? What do you think would be the biggest difference?
Definitely. Well, so every unit's different. I've been on some good units where they're real laid back, and I've been on some pretty bad units.
Yeah,
Whether it was dealing with inmates or dealing with guards, but definitely the biggest difference is you feel a little more freedom when you're in prison, and there is definitely a lot more prison politics
okay,
that come into roles.
okay,
From where you sit down, what you're gonna fight for, uh, just the whole structure of everything changes. And let me put this in here. There is no air conditioning in Texas prisons for the
yeah,
most part.
yeah, yeah. When I was in prison, they have AC now, but where I did majority of my time, they didn't have no central AC. Man, it was hell on earth in there, man. It was hot. It was hot as hell. It was hot as hell.
Oh yeah,
You wouldn't even dry off getting out of the shower. You just stay wet.
just
Walk
stay
around,
wet.
just walk around like
That's
that.
it.
But and you were just speaking about items, and we were talking about cards. You don't have cards, but y'all did have something in this little Easter egg you said in the beginning. We didn't have them, ladies and gentlemen. Can you spot an Easter egg in his camera site over here? If you can't, ladies and gentlemen, you got a little. What do they call them things out there?
That right there
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is a hot pot 5,000.
Hot Pot 5,000, man.
Yeah.
And look, I'm about to look some up on Amazon because I just ordered one of those metal shelves that they sell for prisons.
Yeah.
You know, bro, I'm about to hibachi it up for my house, and I'm
You
gonna
need that.
yeah, I'm gonna get a couple of those, man. I'm gonna make it a dual jank,
Yeah, you gotta hold them up. Put books over there.
Yeah,
To
books.
hold 'em up.
I've been watching, man. I ain't never seen that technique in prison that I was in, but cause like I said, we didn't have those. We had microwaves, believe it or not.
Oh,
So
that's what's up, man.
yeah,
That's
it was nice.
that good.
You could get that boil on pretty good, and I was in a medium to high level prison as well. I don't know what they had in level 5s or not if they had those, but they had crock pots, ice machines, but never those. And them things, man. Did you ever do any stuff like that where you scrape the counter or the bunk or whatever and start frying shit
Absolutely.
up?
So
Yeah,
what you would do? Well, I had one of my homeboys do it because he's a master at it. I'm
yeah.
talking about he'd make fish tacos.
Oh my god.
He'd mix up like Jack Max with pork skins, make these little
Oh.
patties. He'd scrape all the paint off of his bunk, and then he would hold some books. He'd take the hot plate insert, out of
Yeah.
that hot pot and hold it up to the bottom of the bunk to where it starts grilling. Drop some butter out the kitchen, legal, onto his bunk and start whipping it up. We'd have guards coming in there like, "Hey man, what are y'all doing in here?
Oh
Like, let
my
me get in." You know?
god. That's crazy, man. Damn grill. You know, the only way we could do something like that is if we had a candle under there. You know what I mean? Like a little flame. A
Yeah,
little
yeah,
flame or something. But let me ask you this, man. You say you pretty much ran with your own kind in prison, right? How did that come about? Did someone come out? Running your way? Hey, this is how shit runs, or what? Do people just got to figure it out on their own? How does that
yeah.
go?
So how it usually goes, if you see some of my TikTok videos, I kind of explain it. Uh, yeah, the people that you identify with, they're gonna find out that you're on the unit before you even hit the wing. They're gonna identify you while you're waiting to get housed and classified,
Oh,
and people are
okay.
gonna be walking by, and I got mistaken a lot of times because people are gonna holler like, "Hey man, where you from, man? You from Houston? Where you from? Dallas?" And you'll tell them, like, "Okay, that's what's up, man." And they'll be like, they'll ask you like, "Hey man, you a homeboy?" Or they won't even ask you that.
Yeah.
So you get on the wing, of course. Just to be honest, I'm not what people think that I am. Just keep it on the mysterious side, right? People have to. Uh, I'm gonna keep that little part of me mysterious because
Yeah.
I like people to try to check it out. But as a hint, if you pay attention to my videos, you'll see some of my tattoos. Some of
Yeah.
my tattoos are a story.
Yeah. It's all
So
good. It's all good.
yeah, yeah. So that's how they'll do it. They'll when they finally figure out that you're a part of them. They'll come up there and they'll lace you up. Just gonna tell you about all the politics, the do's and don'ts. Where we're gonna sit. This is how we conduct ourselves. Um, this is what we fight over. This is where we go meet. Uh, just the whole 9 yards with it. If you're solo, you still solo means like I don't ride with nobody.
Yeah.
You're still gonna get on most units. You're still gonna get checked in, even if you're solo.
Yeah, that's
But
what I was
you
about to
you
say. Like, let's say a white dude came in for the first time, ain't part nothing. Uh, is there a group of white guys that go up to him and say, "Hey, this is how shit runs and functions," you know?
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna come check you out, man.
Yeah.
And if you say you're solo, they'll be all right. Well, you still got to fade this heart check, and just to make sure that you can hold your own. So go through that whole process, and
Heart check.
yeah, heart check. And Hispanics call it quarter check. So quarter means heart in
Yeah.
Spanish. It's basically to see if you can hold your own. So
So
they're gonna run in on you. Some places do 2-on-1, so you have to fight two of them at the same time, and it's usually gonna be in a cell. Typically, when you fight them, you're not meant to win. They have like a no shine policy. No shine means like you can't win because if you win against both of them, you're gonna have two other individuals that come check you out. But for white guys, a lot of
Does
times,
that mean like? Does that mean like you can't shine on them? Like beat
yeah,
their
you can't
ass?
win. Like so heart checks, you are not designed to win.
So should you
Like,
even fight back? You know?
oh yeah, you got to fight back, but you
Oh,
can't
okay, okay.
fold, right? If you fold or if you tap out before they say it's time, right? Um, they're gonna give you two options. You can either catch out or pay for protection.
Oh shit.
That's how it goes. And most gangs are pretty high in numbers. They really just they want you to pay for protection if you're not riding with a gang.
So that's a normality in there. People
Oh
pay.
man, yeah. And some people might say like they're safe prison, but brother, I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't matter if they had safe prison or not, because at the end of the day, a man has pride. So a man is not gonna go file PREA.
Yeah.
Dude that got beat up, a man's not gonna go file PREA. He knows he's gonna have to carry that the rest of his life, already, even though he already like got beat up or caught out, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, people still get extorted in prison. I've been a few places where when white dudes get heart checked, they do a BMW because they consider them like they want to make sure that just because you can fight doesn't mean anything. Like we want to make sure that you're not color scared. So they'll do a BMW where a black dude will come, they'll run a heart check with a black dude, Mexican, and a white.
Oh shit.
Yeah, just to make sure that like you're because some people will fight will be easily able like to defend yourself against your own race, but some people are really scared of of other races.
Yeah, yeah,
And so that comes out. That
yeah.
comes out.
That's wild. I've never heard that technique before. I know people are probably like, "Damn." Well, I've heard stories. I've had people on here from Texas, but every man's story is different, man. In the way that they tell it. See, I've heard similar situations like this from other states, and they're all kind of a little different in their own way. So what's considered folding?
Folding is basically
I mean, what if someone
hey,
I'm a
just,
ball up.
yeah,
I ball up a little
yeah.
bit.
So if you ball up, right, and you just allow them to just keep hitting you, and you don't start swinging back, that's folding. Or like if you're getting punched on and you're folding up, you're like, all right, stop, quit. Well, when you go to say and quit, they're gonna roll the punches on you a little harder because they know that you're at the breaking point and they want to make you pay.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if you get knocked out, well, they'll
That's what I was about to say.
back.
What happens if you get knocked out?
You get action back. You know what I'm saying? You get to run that again.
Oh shit! You got to go again. Fuck! I would have woke up like, bro, come on, man.
Come on, man. You already knocked me out, man.
Come on, man. I can't even see where y'all are. Yeah. He's like, all right, let him live. Let it go. Oh shit!
Your homeboys will be trying to stand you up. Like, hey, I mean, the biggest thing is like, man, you defend yourself.
Yeah,
that is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
we want to make sure that you can defend yourself.
Yeah. So let's say riot jumps off, man. Would it go like that? Everyone spread out to their own people.
Look, I'm gonna tell you. So when riots are gonna pop off, you can usually tell. Like, man, when you come in the dorm, I'm talking about the atmosphere is gonna be like dead silent. Because usually there'll be ruckus everywhere. Everybody's doing everything. But you can feel tension in the air when a riot's fixing to pop off. Yeah. Like one of the craziest ones that luckily, who I identified with, we weren't really a part of this. This was more of an in-race thing. It was between the Mexican Mafia and Orlejon, which is like a San Antonio gang.
Yeah.
And apparently the Mexican Mafia was trying to pick up prospects on the unit, and Orlejon already, told them like, hey, we'll let you walk on this unit, but if you start trying to prospect people, like, just know what it is, SOS, it's mass on sight. So we caught wind that it was fitting to go down. And how it happened, we were on the wing, and it was after, they'll set it up on the whole unit. They'll be like, hey, look, after Days of Our Lives ends, or whatever it may be, after this show ends, as soon as this show ends, y'all set it off. Y'all take off on whoever's in the day room, that identifies with that gang. And they did. And man, it was crazy, man. But the thing about, like, if a riot or something's gonna pop off, like, you definitely want to be around whoever you identify with. And the best thing is to catch a wall, man. You don't want people behind you.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Catch a wall.
Yeah.
Catch a wall.
Yeah. Well, look, I got a ton of questions I can ask you, man, because you're really breaking it down good for me. I really do have quite a bit, so I'm just gonna steer this in a different direction. We've been chatting for quite a bit. You're doing a lot of stuff out here right now, in the social media realm and all that good stuff. I want to hear a little bit about what you got going on, and maybe we can come on, next week or something for part 2 and answer some of my other questions about Texas prison.
Sure.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. But yeah, tell them where they can find you. What you got going on?
So, I own my own business. It's called Xcons Fitness, X-CONS Fitness. And basically my niche in the market is I'm utilizing what everybody would expect from my big old X on my back. And I'm gonna become successful with or without it. And that's one of my biggest things is I try to help people become the greatest version of themselves, to understand that it's not about how they started this life. It's about how they finish it. And that's the point that I try to drive home to anybody that I come in contact with. Like, it will not take less than 60 seconds from meeting me to know that I went to prison and how this is how I transformed my life. Yeah. And so with my business, I also have a successful career with the prison entrepreneurship program, which is like what I'm representing right now, because it's more than just a program, it's a brotherhood. And I serve as a reentry case manager. So what that is, and I'm a life caddy. What that means is I go pick up my brothers when they get out. I actually go pick them up from the unit. I take them to get their first meal. I help them
Oh
out.
shit.
We have transitional housing. We help them with all the necessities. So that way it takes those unnecessary stresses from them as soon as they get out, so that that way they have the greatest chance of success. And me being a
Wow.
life caddy, I went through these struggles of reentering society. Recidivism rate is over 60% on a nationwide basis. And PEP, all of our brothers that go through the program and graduate, it stays under 10%.
Excellent, man. I mean, so you went through this program first?
Yeah, I actually did my
Personally.
last 3 years. And what they do is they kind of bait and hook you. Because the middle name is entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So they'll send out these postcards to many people, and you'll fill it out. So you're only chosen, right? So they have to reach out to you. You couldn't reach out to them to be a part of the program, because I tried for years, but it was a dead issue.
Yeah.
Well, they'll say, hey, look, we'll teach you about how to build a business plan, how to execute a business plan, how to present it, all these wonderful things. But what they don't tell you is that they're going to take you through character building, character development, how to be a servant leader. That's the biggest part of it.
Wow.
So I was a part of that for 3 years. I learned how to present a business plan, make one, which I'm executing now.
Yeah.
All these years later.
Yeah.
And I'm still involved in the program highly. I work for them. I got offered a job when I got out, and I find a lot of passion in helping other guys like us come out and be successful.
That's excellent, man. You know what I mean? When you said that what you do is take people to get their first meals and stuff like that, man, that shit brings so much joy to me doing that
It does.
You know what I
It's
mean?
rewarding.
Yeah.
Hey, because I remember that feeling.
Yeah,
I
me
just saw the
too,
video,
man.
Like, I was just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And for somebody, like, I'm going to be honest with you, when I got out and I was around my family, I felt like a complete stranger.
Yeah. I did too.
I hadn't been around them. They didn't know me. I felt like when I went to go use the restroom, they would think that I was going to steal something.
Yeah.
I'm so used to that. When I got around some of my brothers, when they came to get me, and I was instantly relieved.
Yeah.
I felt more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of felt like that too, man. Because I was a thieving ass motherfucker when I was growing up.
Too, man. Like, bro, both of my parents went to prison.
Yeah.
So it was like destined for me to go to prison.
Yeah.
And you know what they say, like, whatever you do in moderation, your kids will do in extremities. And I started off real small, real young.
That's a good saying, man. I don't know how true it is. Could be very true, depending. But
Yeah.
that's a good damn saying. You got to be careful what you do around your kids, ladies and gentlemen. I got 4 of them, so it kind of hit me.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen my oldest son yet, bro.
What?
No.
Really?
Like, the last time I saw him was in 2012 when he was 3 years old. And I knew that I was fixing to not see him for a long time. Like, God blessed me with that. I got to hold him in that visit. Man, believe it or not, man, I had to use the restroom so bad. They didn't allow you to use the restroom while you were in visit. And so I had to fade that for 2 hours. But I faded every last minute. I remember I was sweating, but I just didn't want to let go of my son.
Yeah.
And but I feel like I'm fixing to see him soon. And,
Yeah, man.
I want him to meet his siblings. Like, I have a beautiful wife, beautiful children. I was able to buy a house 14 months out of prison.
Oh, man.
Started my business, and everything's like looking up right now. But I know that trials are still right around the corner.
Yeah.
And,
Everybody goes through trials. I don't give a shit.
Absolutely.
How much money you got, you're going to have some kind of trials coming in your
Most
life.
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Bro, like I said, I'm here because I want to make a difference, and I want to help the next man, especially their ex-convicts. Like, somebody that's trying to change their life, man, I want them to understand, like, do not give up on your dreams.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get back into, on a part 2, we'll get into depth on that, and get a little more inspirational as well. But I really want to hear just your story. You know what I mean? Obviously, quite a bit when it comes to the Texas prison system. So I'm looking forward to hearing some more of your stories, man. And but I appreciate what you do, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate what you do as well. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna keep everything pinned and linked in the comment section of this video. Until next time we meet, man. You be easy out there, all right, buddy?
All right, brother. Hey, you mind if I give a couple shout outs?
Hey, go ahead. Say what you want to say, man. Go ahead.
say, just look out real quick for my PvP brothers mainly.
Uh-huh.
They've been through and through, and this is why I do it for. And of course, the wolf pack. You'll learn about it.
Okay. Yes.
And I have to give all glory to God. And I
Hey.
love my wife, Michelle. I love you, and my beautiful children.